be with you. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. I wanna be with you. Let's go to
Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your flagship Sunday Talk in Town. I'm your host, the Governor. We are here to pull apart and discuss yesterday's disappointing 1-1 home draw in the FA Cup first round to Oldham, with what could be described as our full strength A team, if you want. He put out the same lineup that beat Wycombe 4-1 midweek. But again, they followed up a tremendous win, authoritative win with, well, you tell me what you felt about yesterday. I'll grab the thoughts of the two contributors in just a second. But first of all, if you do like your FM, we do offer some FM content on the platform. I was streaming it just a second ago. So if you do enjoy it, look for Talking Town's FM 22 Ipswich Town. I hesitate to say series, but certainly a sporadic episode. Colin Plum's in the chat. He says Ipswich Town FC were the top attendance in the FA Cup yesterday. Sunderland never revealed their crowd. God knows why. Hope you're feeling better, by the way, Colin. Matt Stannard says, I thought given the reshuffle, it wasn't too bad. So tried to lift the team, but loads of groans when we went backwards. I'm not sure what that's in response to, but looking forward to hearing what you all think of yesterday's 1-1 draw. You can support this platform through Ko-Fi or YouTube Super Chats. So if you get any type of value from any of our shows, but particularly this one, then please do consider supporting us. Right, I'm going to bring in this man first to talk a little bit about boxing. There was a boxing match last night, Canelo and Plant. Who was right? The Canelo backer, Matt Phillips, or the Plant backer, the Gov? Well, let's find out. It would, of course, be Matthew Phillips because Canelo walked Plant down. What are we talking, Matt?
He did, yeah. It was, if you saw the boxing show, we were discussing the Canelo versus Plant, first time ever undisputed super middleweight championship fight. And Canelo won with an 11th round stoppage, which was surprising. You did say a late stoppage, Martin, although with the wrong person. But
I said it with points. And to be fair, one of the judges did have Plant. I'm not sure what he was watching, but he did have Plant ahead on points.
They had, I don't know if he was ahead. There was certainly 2 rounds on one of the cards. 96-94 was, I think, the closest that I've seen. But I was just surprised it took Canelo so long to get through because Plant was quite active in the first couple of rounds.
He was.
But, and then he got through to him and he floored him twice and it got waved off. But yeah, I think Plant did what we thought he'd do. He got behind the jab and Canelo, like you said, Canelo likes to come forward, and that's quite difficult to come forward when you've got 1, 2, 3 jabs popping in your face. But it was an entertaining fight. Let's see where it goes from here.
Absolutely, yeah. Great fight. 2 fighters that come out with a lot more respect than they went in. And one man with all those belts, it does look good, though, doesn't it? It does look good. He's in a man and he's like literally draped in gold.
He was getting all manner of belts. He was even given, I think, the WBC franchise belt, which is just something they give you. You can't even lose it. That was a black belt. Randomly, he was wearing a crown.
King Canelo.
WWE style.
There you go. We've great to see you guys. Yeah, obviously Lee Bayliss yesterday made the trip down. Great to see Lee, wasn't it? Really good to see Lee.
Once you recognised him, you blame me for that.
Says you. You equally had the most. It's on camera with you going, You can almost pinpoint the moment the light bulb in your own mind goes off.
Well, he said he was coming, and he had an Oldham accent, and I was like, "This is clearly Lee Bailey's."
I
But
was
you
just,
didn't seem to twig. You never twigged.
No, I was just
Oh.
shoved this young man at me. I'm live, and this guy just gets pushed towards me, and I'm told he's from Oldham. Oh fuck! What do you mean he's from Oldham? Like, we're playing Oldham, so I'm going to go with the fact you might be an Oldham fan. I know how Rich likes to get the Oldham fan or opposition fans on the show.
Does. Yeah.
And I was just like,
shout out to Lee for coming all the way down. It's not round the corner, is it? You know what I mean?
no,
We'll come to that later if we do our goats. We'll come to that later if we've got goats.
Yeah, it's certainly not round the corner. Right, let's just complete the trio, and then let's get stuck into the Sunday roast. Here he is. And it's certainly sacking season, Rich.
Yeah.
Aston Villa have also.
I watched, just going back to Lee Bayliss, I watched it back, the pre-game show. Martin, yeah, you had no idea, but neither did Matt. I'm not having it that he knew who he was at the start.
I knew who he was.
You fucking didn't. You were talking about Oldham. You thought he was an Oldham fan, and then
He
started getting
did.
No, sorry, incorrect. You're both wrong.
No. I tell you what, Lee Bayliss, fucking great big lad, wasn't he? Makes Dave look small.
He's tall. I'm meeting up with him when I go up to Oldham.
Yeah. You and your bloody tempting fate. But before we get into it, Harry says Aston Villa can confirm that the club are part of the company with head coach Dean Smith sacking season in full effect. What do you make of that then, Rich?
Mental.
Really? Lost £5 on the bounce.
I know they've lost 5 on the trot, yeah. But before that, they went to Old Trafford and beat them 1-0, and everyone was singing Dean Smith's praises. Look, they've struggled since they sold Grealish to replace him, which, look, you're going to, I think it's really harsh. I think that's harsh because he's done a really good job there. But I think you'll probably agree, Martin, because you like that, don't you? To don't stand still.
So who goes in? But who goes in now? Who are they going to get in now?
That's down to the Aston Villa board that paid quite a handsome amount of money to decide that, Matthew. I'm not on 6-figure sums to make that type of decision. But talking of decisions, obviously Norwich beat Brentford 2-1. Boo. Then they sacked Agent Fark. Boo. But yeah, Daniel Fark relieved of his duties as Norwich City manager. What do you make of that one, Matthew?
It's weird timing because they've been useless for ages. They win a game, he gets the bullet. So you can only presume then they've got someone over the line ready to step in. I don't know.
It's been sorted, Matt. I was reading this morning. I reckon it'd all been done in a week.
Well,
What do you reckon, Steve Bruce? What about Steve Bruce for Norwich?
Well, that's what a few murmurs. I've heard Russell Martin mentioned. I don't think it's the right time or situation for Russell. Yeah,
Lampard's favourite.
Lampard has been favourite. Talk about on Sky. It must have been a predetermined sacking, right? Because win, lose or draw, give the new guy the international break to assess, plan, coach, develop, blah blah blah. You know, it had to be predetermined. So the same as Warnock, obviously leaving Borough as well. Apparently he knew yesterday morning before the game, but wanted to take the job, take the game on. So that's another interesting one. But certainly his second season.
Wild was appointed this morning. Chris Wild is in.
Yes, he was. Yeah, absolutely. Borough. That's a great appointment for Borough. A really good appointment.
That kind of club suits him. I would be surprised if Norwich went for Dean Smith. I mean, what do Villa fans in their board expect from Villa?
I just really admire. I hate to say it, but I really admire just Norwich biting the bullet. Like, there's too much romantic bullshit in football. There's just too much of this whole, he's won us the league titles, he's done us this. But out of the bin. It's about the here and the now. It's the what have you done for me lately job. It's not a what have you done for me over the last 5 years, last 4 years, last 6 months. What have you done for me lately? And lately, that's not win a lot of games. No, so, you know, I'm all for this bidding. I think as fans, and perhaps you two are just as guilty. You buy into the patience, the romantic side of football and the loyalty. Whereas managers and players, famously, let's be honest, if Dean Smith was off the United job, he wouldn't say, I'm with Villa. I owe them. Then
it's different as supporters. It's different as fans, isn't it? We're invested in that one club where it is just a job for them.
Although Dean Smith is a Villa fan, isn't he?
Yeah, because his dad was a steward, wasn't he? There
was he really? I didn't.
His late dad, he was a steward.
I didn't know that. But I'm all for winning games, me. I don't care who's the manager. I'm all for winning games. Any game you play. and I had to go yesterday because they weren't streaming it. But I'm not going to Oldham away. I will just categorically.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Just back, Rich. Let's just rewind that tape up. You're all for winning games. All about when Lambert weren't winning games for ages. It was still keep him in. I'm pro Lambert. Keep him in.
No. I was pro Lambert because there was no one better, and Paul Cook came and improved.
Well, that's not your decision to make that decision, is it? That's not your
squad.
That's not your place to make that decision. If there's someone better.
No, because I knew that he was getting the most he could out of that current bunch of players. And to be fair,
maybe.
Tell me I'm wrong, having had another manager come in and done the same, if not worse.
I think that sort of players suited Paul Lambert's "we'll finish where we'll finish" mantra, and then Cookie came in and couldn't get a song out of them, and there you go.
Well, there we go. We've got Ben Moore, Villa will appoint Terry. It makes the most sense. Bruce will go Norwich, someone who knows the league and below. Ashley Belt, another manager who's played and managed some big clubs who's available. There's too much water under that bridge for him to ever go back there. Harry got a fat, just 11 games of the season. A quarter of all managers in the Premier League have been sacked. Wow. You can't stand still in the Premier League because you're all fighting over the same caliber of manager, aren't you? So once one moves, you see it with Tottenham and Man United. Man United now must be kicking themselves because Conte, who was probably the best manager on the market, is gone. Spurs acted perhaps quickly because they saw Ollie at the wheel was going to be crashing the car.
I see something, Matt, that they're still paying the last 3 managers, Tottenham.
They are.
Yeah,
they've got they're all employed to like 2024 or something.
Why would you appoint John Terry? Why'd you get rid of Dean Smith and get John Terry?
You wouldn't appoint John Terry. He's not getting that job. No chance.
No. I reckon Warnock could step up. I like Neil Warnock. Full stop.
Yeah, me so.
The moment you said yesterday on yesterday's post-game show, I was like, it's just a shame we're not doing worse because I'd love Warnock. He's a manager who wants to win at all costs. Bit like me.
Hold on a minute. Rich, let's back this tape up yet again. You didn't like Mick McCarthy football. Why would you like Neil Warnock football?
Different situation.
Midweek.
It's a different situation.
Mike Brown has lost the flip-flop crowd here, Rich. Martin's taking it over.
No. No. If I'm eating cheeseburgers every week and I get bored of cheeseburger, but then sadly can't afford to buy cheeseburgers, you pine for a cheeseburger. Like, let's be honest here. I want the championship back ASAP. I don't care how we get there or with what manner we get there. I want to be playing championship football.
Warnock needs to head off into the sunset on his tractor down in Cornwall and just retire. Put your feet up. You've done, I think, 1,600 games over he's done. So, look, he's had a really good career, but it's time for the younger generation to manager now, surely.
Well, the head coach role is the way most clubs are going, which is why I think Steve Bruce won't go to Norwich because they love their head coaches. It's almost like
they go left field, wouldn't they, Norwich?
It's almost like look up who Dortmund's second B team manager is. That is who it will probably be because that's Norwich likes to go for that left field head coach type appointment.
Yeah.
But there we go. So that's the managerial go round. Let's talk about our own manager, our own team. Yesterday, 1-1 at home to Oldham in the FA Cup first round. That still sticks in my mouth. I didn't want to go. And at half time, I tweeted out, I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed in myself for buying a ticket. Talk to me, Rich, because the lineup looked good.
What did you think to your seat? What did you think to your seat yesterday in there?
Shite.
It was good. It was good. I liked it.
Good view. It's a good view there in the centre of the old. I call it the Pioneer, but it's really cramped, isn't it? I was saying to you.
Not for me, it wasn't. Not for me.
Well, we know that.
Stand like this. It was
It's in that stand.
That was built in the 80s, that stand, and it was probably state of the art then. But the walkways are tiny, aren't they?
Weren't we the top of the old West Stand? Wasn't that? And they're built on top of that.
I don't. Did they knock it down completely? I can't remember now.
I went around.
No.
Colin, can you tell us, please?
Colin will know.
It's Colin.
I'll tell you what summed it up. What summed it up when I was at half time in the toilets having a wee and the lights kept going out. And I thought, yeah. And another thing, with COVID at the minute and washing your hands and that, the water was stone cold.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're better off not washing them, mate.
Could I tell you a funny story? So talking about washing your hands, I see this bloke there with his little boy. His little boy was having a wee. This bloke's having a wee.
Points for me.
With his you-know-what in one hand and a burger and some chips in the other. I thought, that's not very hygienic, is it?
He's taking the food into the toilet.
Yes.
The toilets in any stand are abysmal. Like that is one thing I've consistently and constantly said to both you and the WhatsApp group when they keep bleating on about, you know, the coronavirus updates in the sense of you need to do this, that, or the other. Get me some fucking warm water and some proper handrails, and we might be a little bit better in washing our hands and being better around the stadium. Like, forget about being distanced from each other. I sit next to a bloke. You can't escape each other, but.
Yeah.
Get me some warm water and some proper handrails, and we might talk.
It was good. It was good sitting next to the Cruncher and the Crunch Bunch. They've got, so everyone knows, they've got snacks on the go the whole time coming out of this rucksack. We get score updates from Archie.
Yeah, Elliot's always he's on flash scores. He's all over it.
I can't even get the internet in the stadium.
What can I? My phone is useless in there. I don't know what he's using.
What are they on?
God knows what he's on, but it's working.
Crazy.
I didn't even get Martin's WhatsApp to us, and he's sitting 4 seats away.
Yeah, we'll get to that a bit later on. But yeah, apparently it was built on top of the old West Stand. So 3 points for me, starting the show nice and it's not on top form. Lee says SBR stand is poor signage for toilets. I nearly peed myself before I got there. Get on the 5G, says Matt Stannard. Can't afford that round here, Matt. Yeah, I can't afford that. Need some more Ko-Fi supporters for 5G, mate. Talking of which, what were we going to talk about yesterday? Oh, Oldham. 1-1. Yeah, the lineup. Yeah, the game, wasn't there?
Instantly forgettable game, wasn't it, really? When you...
I quite enjoyed it. I enjoyed the seat. I enjoyed sitting next to you lot.
That seat annoys me. Every time I sat there near enough there for the Leeds game when Selena scored his welding, beaten 1-0. That seems many, many years ago. But you can't see the touchline. So literally you can't see half the pitch. You're cramped as anything. Bin it.
Coxie. So put Coxie's comment out there, please, Mark. He's like, apologies to Adam Flatt for blocking him yesterday. So when the news of Warnock broke, Adam put Colin W. You know, I'm not going to say it because it's pre-watershed, right? And then Coxie thought Adam was calling Colin. So he blocks him. Unbelievable censorship, but
I know. The grapefruits of Coxie to block people on my platform. Coxie, when you say to Coxie, you're in charge. He takes it seriously. I like that about Coxie. I like
he's given Ben Moore the yellow card, didn't he?
I know he was. Poor Ben, though.
Now, I spoke to Colin this morning about this, and I said from the start, this is not a PG show. You know what you're getting when you're tuning in, and I'm not having anybody saying to people no swearing, whatever, because it is what it is. I swear quite a lot. Matt never swears. I know he doesn't.
I try not to on this platform, just in case there's children watching and I'm a role model.
Well, I do set the content to mature, not suitable for younger audiences. So, you know.
I've got to say, the Cruncher was very quiet watching the game yesterday. I was up. You might have seen me up and having a go.
I saw you up,
there's hardly anything to keep my pulse going. It was hardly bloody...
When Christian Walton saves that penalty, you nearly catapulted onto the pitch.
Come on!
Yeah, you nearly pole vaulted onto the pitch. I thought, he's sitting down, will you? He's not at Marseille now. Ultra. Fucking Ultra. Sit him down.
Might have been warmer if we had been in Marseille.
I like your coat you had on yesterday. Very nice.
Thanks. Me winter wear. Yeah, thanks very much. Bought that in Scotland. Needed, yeah. New winter jacket. Yeah.
Took him long to mention Scotland, didn't it? Here we go. 18 minutes into the show.
Matty McPhillips.
I tell you, impressed me yesterday. What was his name? Bamboula for Oldham.
Oh, best player on the pitch. Best player on the pitch.
Was he wearing tights, though? I was not very happy about that, Matt.
He was. Now, I can only presume he has circulation issues because they signed him from Bulgaria.
Really?
He's playing in the Bulgarian league, yeah. That's why I looked him up.
Very good player.
Yeah.
He's French Congolese.
Yes, you're right. Started at Monaco. He would do for me if they bought him in January. I wouldn't say no.
It's funny, isn't it? Because we see him once and we think he's a great player, but he's playing at that level for a reason, probably, isn't he? Because he doesn't do. You know, he reminded me of a little bit, probably Jet. You know,
he lacked a half yard of pace, didn't he? He did lack that half a yard of pace.
Totally agree.
Which is why he probably won't play at a high level.
Wikipedia page, an Oldham fan on his wiki page, he will something like this. He will dazzle you with his skills And before long, a statue will be built of him outside Boundary Park, or whatever it's called.
He was a great player. I really enjoyed watching him yesterday afternoon. Right up to he had the penalty, and I thought, oh,
Thank
Christ,
God he
here we
missed
go.
it. We'd have lost that
Awful
game.
penalty.
Yeah.
Awful
Yeah,
penalty.
you telegraphed it, didn't he? You knew where he was going to put it.
But really, really bad. But I know, yeah, best man of pitch by a country mile. Looked like he skips leg day though, didn't he? Like his legs quite thin. He had quite a broad upper torso, quite
Yeah, I
muscly.
thought I had a good game for them. What you said about him, Matt? Is it Piergiani, the centre half, the captain
Piergiani.
from Salford? Good.
Yeah.
He looked
And now
good.
I said to Rich halfway through the game, is Toto any better than Piergiani? I'd say Piergiani's better than him. He didn't put a foot wrong. He got forward. He looked dangerous from set pieces.
Who was the older the left back? Because he looked like somebody's dad had just wandered on, won a competition to play football. He looked the most unnatural. Yeah. He looked the most
Orange kit didn't do a lot for him, did it?
He honestly, he looked like someone's dad had won the raffle that week on the coach down, and was given the kit. He didn't move like a footballer, didn't play like a footballer. But that said, Wes Burns only beat him once. Should have had him on toast, but didn't, which sums up the afternoon. So yeah, starting lineup. What do you make? Obviously, strong lineup. We're all asking for that before the game, Rich. Upon reflection, though, is it really sunny side egg up on Cook's face, because you've got your strongest lineup there, and you
you sent some quotes, didn't you, this morning from Cooks after match? Some really.
Let's get to that. That was a weird interview to me. Read them out, Rich. You got them there?
No, hang on.
Hang on, I got them. Here we go. I've got these are what you sent through. There was an arrogance about us that wasn't good. Inconsistency is our consistency. He's been reading my article again. Up there with our worst performances of the year. I don't think it was that bad. It wasn't Bolton bad. We didn't lose. If you don't approach the game with the right mentality, which we didn't today, then you'll find yourself on the end of a not positive result.
Yeah. The reason I'm thinking this is a bit of a weird interview is these are all Cook's failings in the lead up to the game, aren't they? It's his job to make sure we're not inconsistent, that we've got the right mentality, and we don't go out there thinking we're going to walk it and win 3-4, 5-0.
I think that's human nature, though, Matt, because we started quite well. We scored an early goal, and I think the players and the fans, because we said we're probably going to get 3 or 4 here.
Me and Rich had the cigars out at this point.
And I think they thought the first 20 minutes it was easy. They hardly got into our half, but I think if you take your foot off the gas and let a team back in, but then they couldn't find. Well, look, I know you're going to talk about Morsey and the leadership, and it should come from him, but they couldn't find their way back into the game. Even like when the penalty was saved, you thought it did give us a spur for a few minutes, didn't it?
Yeah,
a little bit, and then it went back to how it was. Look, the crowd yesterday was
rubbish. I'll say it.
Yeah, it was flat. There was no atmosphere.
No.
And it was like it was after the Lord Mayor's show from Wickham on Tuesday, and they seemed like they couldn't lift themselves. But
it's not the first time you've battered a team midweek and then come and laid a cow pat on the Saturday. That's a common issue with us.
You said that Friday, didn't you? How do you keep the snowball rolling? It is an issue, and it's Cook's issue. It's down to him. It's preparation.
It is. Preparation. It's those bad habits talking about on Friday. The problem becomes, Rich, and we were talking about this off air because I said it in the WhatsApp, and I'll say it publicly. I've got no problem saying it publicly. When you say our only consistency is our inconsistency, we approached it with arrogance. All those different things that he said there. All things considered, you've got to then task your leadership, which is Morsey, Evans, Edmondson, whoever's taken the leadership role in the dressing room, starts with the captain. You have to take them to task because they're the ones that set the benchmark and set the example. But come next week against Oxford, I dare say it'll be Evans and Morsey in midfield. Why? Where's the
if we turn up next Saturday and Raheem Harper and El Mazouni and playing in midfield, everyone will be losing their shit because they shouldn't be playing. Evans and Morsey will play.
But in all due respect, it's not our job. It's his.
If they are fit, they play together at Wigan for over 80 games. They know each other's game inside and out. they are allowed. They are human beings after all, Martin. They are allowed to have a bad day at the office because people go to work. Not everyone's on it all the time.
No.
That's fine.
Apart from me. Because obviously when I go to work and I drive my tractor, I'm absolutely A1 person.
That's fine. But this is not the first time this has happened, Matt. This is not the first time we've beaten a team comprehensively.
Yes.
So it's not just a bad day. Because
Can you guess the club name I've just written down on my pad? Accrington Stanley.
Accrington Stanley, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It was like that again, wasn't it? We've taken the lead. We ended up losing that game, didn't we? But when Cook says we've got all these things, the mentality's not right. There's an arrogance there. We're inconsistent. I don't mind those things if they're just, of that time. But we now seem to be going full circle. We're repeating what we saw at the Accrington defeat. That's a worry to me. If we're going to be inconsistent through the season, we ain't going to get anywhere near the top 6. I'll tell you that right now.
Spot on. Well, you will, because in this division, it's such a poor division that it proved last year. We drew 0-0 about 800 times.
That's 8 times we've been leading at Portman Road in 11 games, and we've only won 3.
You also have to look at the manager, and this is not a Paul Cook negative show as sometimes it can be, but you've got 5 subs at your disposal. If you're standing on the sidelines and you truly think
that's
feeling...
another stupid rule.
Yeah, but it's there, isn't it? But it's there.
Yeah, it is there.
You can change half the side, half the outfield players, if you feel that your level that you want to be is not there. But did he really change it with an eye to change anything but that peg for that peg? Like Joe Pigott, I watched him warming up. I felt so sorry for him. I thought, what, I might write him a letter, because the poor boy scored goals for fun at Wimbledon. Come down here. He's keeping himself, his nose clean. He's working hard, we imagine, to wait for his chance. Obviously, had some bad personal troubles with his dad dying. I felt my heart went for him yesterday, because I felt if you can't get even 10 minutes in the FA Cup first round, I'd be the first to be questioning, what the fuck am I doing here? What am I doing here?
It's baffling, isn't it? It's weird. We thought Friday he would start the game, didn't we? Oh, I thought at least. And then when we saw the team yesterday, I think we said pre-match, we'll probably give Bond an hour, and Pigott will get half an hour.
Bond can't play every single week. He's going to burn himself out. If you're relying on him to play all the league games, all the cup games, he can't do it. No. He should have been sat on the bench. Joe Pigott should have been playing yesterday. He'll play Tuesday night.
Play Tuesday, but that's not the level of competition Pigott wants to be tested against, is it? Weird.
No, but it isn't. But it is an opportunity to show your worth. When we talk about inconsistencies,
we don't know what team Colchester's still going to put out yet, do we? Yeah. Show your worth against Colchester 23s.
But even if he rips it up midweek and it's Colchester A team, it's still Luke Chambers, Tom Eastman, and Tommy Smith. No disrespect to either of those 3. You've played for Town. You're not at Town any longer. Yeah. You're at the back ends of your career, particularly Chambers. If he turns up and rips them apart, not many fans will go, "Wow, that's a level that we hadn't had before." That'll be an expectancy. Like, we had 5 subs, Rich, and I'm going to tell you right now, Joe Pigott didn't play a single minute. If I said that to you Friday night, you'd have thought I'd banged me head and gone mad.
It's like the 2 fullbacks. He changed them at half time. Were they pre-planned?
They must have.
Yeah,
both of them. Both random subs, weren't they?
You wouldn't do them if you had 3 subs. I tell you, he wouldn't have been changing them 2 if he only had 3 subs at half in the game, would he? No chance.
No,
he had 5. I can understand Vincent Young in because he's not played that much football. But yeah, Pigott, look, he's going to be needed somewhere along the line. But where's he going to get his football to get sharp?
Yeah.
My issue, Matt, is that Pigott is a different question to ask a team than Macaulay Bonne. We just never want to ask it. Like yesterday, it's not working. It's 1-1. Bring Bonne off, or maybe bring him on, or keep him on. Bringing Pigott on is a different question to ask Oldham that we hadn't asked for the first 70 minutes. And you can say that against Bolton, Morecambe, Cheltenham. There's a number of games this year you can say we could have asked different questions, which is where the Mike Brown.
We went to that forum at the start of the season, didn't we, Martin? What did Paul Cook say about the home games?
Well, he said he's brought these number of different players in so we can have a different way of playing, because at home we'll need a different way of playing than we do away. Teams will come here, sit in, and we'll have to break them down and find a way to beat them.
Exactly what Oldham did yesterday, but I don't think anyone's seeing any evidence of different ways of playing. I don't think. I mean, Pigott scored a lot of goals from inside the box, didn't he?
Yeah.
lot of which Bond is doing the same. But yeah, he does bring a different dynamic. Certainly, Bond. I think if there's a weakness in Bond's game, it's certainly heading, isn't it? Because he had a chance yesterday, I think. and he
again.
went straight to the again, yeah, he had that same very similar chance against Fleetwood, where either side of the keeper he would have scored, but he went straight to the keeper. Yeah, I just find it weird. Does Cook not trust Piggott? He talks about trusted lieutenants and things. I mean, I think as the game progressed yesterday, he was reliant more and more on your Salinas, your Chaplins.
He was poor.
Yeah. Well,
Selena.
yeah. He started off well, didn't he? Him and Edward started off well, I thought, and yeah, they ran at the defenders. The defenders didn't like it, did they?
No.
The defenders didn't like it. Even like Matt and Gates yesterday were saying, the defenders, they couldn't cope with that speed. You got Selena and Edwards running at you, like you said. The bloody left back looked like someone's dad on the pitch, didn't he, from Oldham?
No disrespect.
And then, and that's where the arrogance comes in a little bit, doesn't it? Because, we've scored after 7 minutes. Then we're suddenly passing the ball around like Barcelona in the new camp. Xavi Iniesta style. But we don't add the second goal.
You do have to give a little bit of kudos to Oldham, and particularly Keith Curle, who did change things from my perspective, watching him on the lineup, on the touchline.
Did you see what he said? Did you see what he said before the game? I was reading it earlier. Keith Curle, he said he asked the 10 outfield players to all give 1% extra, he said. And if you get that extra 10%, they played really well yesterday, and it shows their league position. Look, it's obvious they don't play like that every Saturday, do they? Because they wouldn't be
the Oldham fans told us
in the league.
The Oldham fans told us that, who came to the statue to get their photos with the Alf Ramsey statue, didn't they? So I don't know where one of the lads said, I don't know where that came from. Not played like that all season. So
But that's where cup upsets come from, because you have that. You come to a place like Portman Road, steeped in history, a great stadium, a big stadium. It's a one-off game. As the manager says there, if he asked every single week, give me that 1% extra, well, they couldn't do it because players can't do that every single week, and they'd be top of the table. Like, that's where the cup upsets of previous years always come from. Lower leagues raising it, upper levels playing with the arrogance maybe that Paul Cook described yesterday. Let's get a few comments. What have we got? We've got Matthew Plummer, very frustrating at the moment, going from a great win to a poor performance next game. Think we'll be all right though and finish 5th or 6th in the league is awful. Yep, that's correct. Callie says, let's look at facts. Won the important game in the week and get back to league on Saturday. Lots of travelling from the lads and the illness too. We still didn't get knocked out and can rectify it next week. But it does impact us because Sunderland don't play until us now. Whereas we've got...
Oh, no, because they got knocked out, didn't they? Yeah, they got no replay.
No replay and no league game because I think
that'll be a much changed. That'll be a much changed team for the replay now. It'll have to be, won't it?
Yeah.
But we've lulled them. We've lulled them into a false sense of security because when we wear that white kit, you know what happens. 4-0 incoming.
Yeah.
Simon Wall, Tuesday is a shit game. What does it do for his confidence? He's not good enough for the first team. He'll be really peed off. Ben Moore, we went long and their centre backs were looking comfortable with it, like Accrington and Cheltenham and anyone else. Stephen says, are we playing Bond Moore as a loan who might want to sign long term? He's going to be favoured. He wants to show that he's the main man. Do you think actually, Rich, we've got into a situation now where Bond is the only player really scoring consistently and constantly for us, that when you are in a close game like we were yesterday, as a manager, do you freeze? Because you really could change it, but then he's your goal scorer. So if you're going to get a goal, it's more likely going to be him. If you're out on the pitch, he can't score. Like, are we now in that territory where he's top goal scorer, so it's really hard to bring him off?
But he shouldn't be guaranteed to play. If he's playing poorly and he's not getting in the game, I know what you're saying, that like the other night at Wickham, he didn't really do a lot. And then he had that, they took the chance and scored. And that's all he needs sometimes, the one chance and it's a goal. But you have to, like Matt said, you have to realise that Joe Piggott got 22 goals in this league last season. He's not some novice striker, that doesn't know the league. He knows where the goal is. So sometimes you have to say, look, Macaulay, it's not your day. Off you come, and Joe, on you go. And if Joe Piggott scores, and then that boosts his confidence. But at the minute, his confidence must be really low. I see him when he got on the bus last Tuesday. He looked fed up. Came out there, signed a couple of autographs straight on the bus. And he's thinking, I've come to Wickham. I'm happy. Look, we've got a win as a team. We're climbing up the table. But personally, I want to be playing football. I don't want to be sitting on the bench because I've gone from playing every week at AFC Wimbledon. So when was his last game? Gillingham away? That
Yeah,
was his last game, wasn't it?
right. He scored in that as well, didn't he?
But the thing is, when he signed, he must have known the way Paul Cook plays. He knows the system. He knew there was going to be one shirt up for grabs, and Bond's taking his chance. And you can't do anything about that. If you're, really,
no one's place should be guaranteed, should they? We did say in the pre-match yesterday, he might, and we've alluded to in other shows, Bond has cooled down a little bit in terms of
Gavin, James Norwood will not be getting a run at Oldham. We had 9 subs yesterday, and he doesn't even get on the bench. Norwood, it's like Lee Anderson putting his team up on Friday, and Norwood was in it. Nonsense. He won't play another minute for the club.
But about that point, not Norwood, Piggott. I've spent enough time over the last 18 months talking about James Norwood. Piggott, he must have known the system when he signed. You're right. But do you think he, as a player, you ever think of a manager being so inflexible? And it is inflexible, Matt, that you're never going to get 2 strikers on the pitch in any game, even an FA Cup first round, even a Papa John's, even when you're chasing a game 1-0, you're never going to get 2 strikers in a 4-4-2. Do you think as a player you ever really signed thinking that's going to be the case?
It's a funny one, isn't it? Why is Cook so sold on that 4-2-3-1? Is it because he's won trophies with it previously? He's had success with that previously? But it's almost like, do you remember when Lambert said we're only going to play 4-3-3? We haven't got the players here to play 4-4-2. I don't know. I don't know why he's so reliant on that system. What is it about that system? Maybe people can tell us in the comments. What is it about that system that defines Cook's style of management? You know what I mean? Because I mean, different coaches have different systems, right? But I mean, you want to see some kind of flexibility within a game. And as you've said before, Martin, it does seem a little bit like the plan B is same formation, different personnel.
Which is okay, Rich, when it works, because when it works well. But when it doesn't, and
that's not anything different than Freddie at Portsmouth and Barry at Wigan told us, because they said that. I think he changed. Did he change it at Portsmouth once and played 2 up front in one game? They lost 4-0, and he never played it again.
He change it once, I think. Yeah, but I mean, they say the definition of madness is doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I mean, maybe that's the reason why we're getting the inconsistencies in. There's not enough flexibility in there. There's reasons for this.
I think we're creeping over to the fans such as myself and Mike Brown territory here, where we're again saying this squad is very good, it's very capable, it shouldn't be fearing anybody, but it's Cook's in-game management again. So we are creeping back into that.
Well, he obviously thinks that this is the formation that can beat anyone. He'll be judged at the end of the season where we finished. And all them players that are coming on, they're obviously drilled, aren't they, every day? Repetition, that's what he likes, doesn't he?
He does. He says that a lot. But then you've got to go back to what you guys said when you went to the forum back in July, when he did say there'd be different style, a different style at home, different style away. No one ever picks up on these quotes in our paid media and actually asks the question. We're asking the question, but we don't get to go.
No, we don't. And he actually said Friday, you keep asking me the same questions. I thought, well, fucking let me in then, Paul. You get a different question then, pal. Trust me. I'm like that meme, the guy on the outside of the pub, like, let me in. Let me in. Yeah. Stephen Parry, what do you make of it so far?
Well, I'm always Mr. Positive as per
That's true.
Plus the fact that there's a chance. If I can find myself a ticket to Oldham, I'll get over there.
I think you'll get there.
But hey, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard work. I can't even find a train ticket. But I think everyone was disappointed. Everybody said if everybody would have picked that, everybody could have picked a side to play yesterday. That would have been the side they picked. Yeah. And we're all disappointed it didn't work. But
it weren't my side. It weren't my side. I'd have picked.
No, it wasn't my side. But at the top of, if we want, if we all. Didn't worry about, keeping people fresh and things like that, and all wanted to pick a side, and there was no worries about the next game or whatever, that would roughly be close to the side everybody picked. If you could pick a full strength 11, and it didn't work, fine. But first off, that's very disrespectful to Oldham, who probably raised their game far better than what it is. And saying that, well, it was all that we were poor, that it wasn't. A lot of it was probably they were good. They did things better yesterday than what they would do normally, because it was the FA Cup. Wigan struggled. Sunderland got knocked out by Mansfield. You know, and if you look at the wider global picture of it, you know, Portsmouth struggled. Not many League One sides had an easy ride yesterday. You know, Wigan against Solihull Moors, 1-1. You know, not many people had an easy ride. So you can see that these lower league teams know that there's money available for them there.
Stephen,
And they raise the game for it.
Stephen, can I just touch on safety guy's point there? Because he says about complacency. The players are not the only ones who are complacent. Us as fans are, because when we played Cheltenham, we all thought we were going to smash them. When we played Morecambe, we all thought we were going to smash them. Every week we turn up here and think we're going to absolutely batter teams, but we don't give people respect.
I had 4-0 yesterday. You know,
There you go.
I'm not denying it. I'm one of them. You know, and realistically, we should be a little bit more balanced. Everybody's jumping on Cook and saying, "Well, it's all." Well, Cook picked the side. He picked the side that most people would have wanted to see. You know, that side took Wickham apart. So if they can take Wickham apart, they can take Oldham apart. They didn't. So it wasn't Paul Cook. Yeah, it was the players. I think they went 1-0 up early, and they thought, "Oh, this game's in the bag," just like the fans did in the ground.
I agree with you. I completely agree with you. But you've got 5 subs. So just like Cheltenham. Whereas, by the way, Rich, you're talking about respect now, but in the summer, you're talking about me and Matt playing as the 2 centre halves for the first 5 games of the season. So you weren't big on respect.
I've looked at the fixture list. 5 games, 15 points, I think Rich said.
Absolutely. You and Matt could play centre half, is what you said. So again, is it when you're seeing that on the sidelines, and you're completely right, is it in-game changes again? Because, you know, plan A wasn't working. Those bunch of players that did annihilate Wickham isn't working. But is there a change to change things, or is there a change just to try a different player in the same formula?
I agree. You know, and everybody's got their opinion, and that's what's so wonderful about shows like this and things like that. Everyone's got an opinion, you know, but at the end of the day, when things like that matters, there's only one opinion that matters, and that's what Paul Cook thinks is the right thing at that time. You know, what he might think is the right thing at that time, he might think bringing Piggott on in that game at that moment in time is not the right thing to do. Yeah.
When is it the right time to bring Piggott on? You're drawing 1-1 at home to Oldham in the FA Cup.
Well, that's the point. You're asking me that question, and I can't give you that answer because I'm not Paul Cook. What would you have done? What would you have done? Would you have bought Joe Piggott? I would have played Piggott from the start. I think Bond needs a rest. But
so right.
At the end of the day, that goes back to my point. If he didn't need a rest, who wouldn't have picked that side? You know, we're only saying, well, we think this player needs a rest, this player, but we don't see what happens during the week. You know, Piggott might not be training very well. He might have a slight knock. We don't know what, because he doesn't say a lot about what's going on. He doesn't, you know, because Chaplin's injury came out of next to nowhere, and then we realised he had like back strain. You know, so there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. I'd love it more, especially when the club said they're going to open up training, when fans can go and see some training. Yeah, and then we can see what happens behind the scenes. Yeah, and then we might have a little bit more of an idea, and might have a little bit more sympathy for Paul Cook, because you can understand what's going on at the moment because of COVID and things like that. We don't actually understand what's going on during the week, and we're judging everything on the day, when he's got to judge everything on the week and probably next week. You know, I think he wanted to play Bond because he wanted to keep him fresh. He didn't want to play Bond Tuesday and pick up play Tuesday because he wants to keep Bond fresh for Saturday. Yeah. And obviously he wants to play Selena because Selena's going away in international. He won't be available. And he wanted to get some football in Selena. I wouldn't be surprised to see Selena on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because
I had no problem with this selection.
You know, so I think he's trying to juggle all these pieces for each individual game. Some of them are going to work, some they're not. We just have to accept that. You know, Sunderland's just lost 4 in a row. You know, and they're not going to play us until Saturday for 2 weeks. Sometimes you're better playing than not playing. Yeah. So Sunderland's going to be really cold when we go up there in 2 weeks, and we're going up there. We could be on a hot streak. We're going in there. They're cold and have had four defeats in a row. I wouldn't want to
play next Saturday. They'll have a league game Saturday.
No, it's called off.
Oh, yeah, because it's the internet.
Yeah.
So they'll be cold before we go there. And 2 weeks without a game is a tough run.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, Steve, as always, talking sense, my man. Nice for popping in. Thanks ever so much, brother. he is right, and I had no problem with the team selection. It was just the in-game changes again that I had a problem with. But when I saw the lineup, I was really pleased.
Well, it goes back to the quotes Cook said, and I just saw Matt kind of agreeing with what we said at the top of the show, in that a lot of what was said by Cook at the end of the game is his responsibility to drill, as Matt says, to drill into the team.
Mike D. Piggott might still be suffering since loss of the. I get that, but then if he's on the bench, if Bond pulls up the first 60 seconds, you bring him on. So if he's there,
I'd imagine if Joe had some issues there, I don't think he'd be around the squad. I wouldn't have thought. Mental health, player welfare is first and foremost, isn't it?
Safety guy. Yes, they were the most openly scathing Cook has ever been on the side. Yeah, it was quite scathing.
Bird's made a good point now, Martin. Just at the top.
Okay, Piggott at half time, try something different. The 2 foots restrained from it. Cable had a good game. Injuries are a factor. Paul Bird. The stop Town after they placed a man closing Morsey down soon, got the ball and Turney made mistakes.
They certainly in the second half. Me and Rich kind of noticed this. It was quite open in the first half. We were thinking, 2-3 by half time or the hour mark. They suddenly started really pressing us in the second half, and there was a bit more of an orange wall behind everything. And Morsey did have a poor game yesterday. To be fair, he did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he did. He had a really poor game. But bad at the office, like Rich says, they do happen. Let's bring our friend from down under in, Robert Burnett. Robert, welcome in.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. Love the shirt. Who's is that? Perth Glory.
Yeah, Perth Glory. My local club, yeah.
How are they getting on?
Season hasn't started yet. We're a summer comp over here. About 2 weeks to start the season.
Fair enough. And how do you think they're going to do?
It's a bit like Town, though. It's bold predicting where they're going to finish.
Fair enough. Obviously, yesterday 1-1 against Oldham in the FA Cup first round. What did you make of that one?
Yeah, because I only saw the highlights. Because obviously I followed.
You got lucky then. You got lucky.
I think, like you guys have said, like as you've probably seen on my Twitter, like our greatest consistency is our inconsistency.
Yeah,
it really is. How does Cook for you change that? How does he change that for you?
I don't know. Obviously the formation doesn't always work, does it? It's just like it's like a broken record, isn't it? Really.
Rich, how does he change it for you, Rich?
It's like that track. Was it you said last week about your little boy with the tractor and you can't fit them together?
Patch them together.
No, I think yesterday we should. I know people say about formations and changing it, which he's not going to. We should have had more than enough to beat him with the subs that we brought on.
Yeah.
He brought Chaplin on. I'm not quite sure because even Selena, it seemed to me they both wanted to play in the 10.
They were both there, weren't they?
Yeah. Selena, I thought he was really poor, Martin, yesterday. And there was a couple of times he was going through and a real bad final decision that he made. There was one, I think there's once, wasn't it, Matt? Burns was wide open.
We both were saying, right, and he sent it left, didn't he? Yeah.
But look, we didn't lose the game. That's probably the only positive that we can really take out of that game. Is apart from the goalkeeper, I thought he's proven that he's a cut above what we've had the last few years, I think, so far. He's
presence about him, isn't he?
Yeah, totally. You sit there in your seat, Matt, and you're confident, you know, because he's played at a high level. He's played under Cook as well before, and I think it's really important that he keeps fit because there is some people in this team, key players that you don't want to get injured. Your goalkeeper's one of them. I think Morsey, I know he had a bad game yesterday, but you need him every single week to play like he did at Wickham, and he was outstanding that night. But look, it's just one of them things. We're not going to play well every week. We are, like you've said, Matt, we are in the third tier. We're not going to win every week, but we do have to find a way, like yesterday, if we'd have won the game 2-1, we'd have probably still been unhappy how we played, but we'd have won the game, wouldn't we?
And we were probably, as fans, again, our expectation probably went through the roof after Wickham, didn't it? We were probably a bit disrespectful to Oldham. We were all sitting there going 3, 4, 5. They are a football league side in a division just below us, albeit
22nd.
If I had a choice though, for us to either play well in the league or play well in the cup, always choose the league.
Yeah.
Obviously, cup games, anything can happen, as we all know, in any cup competition in the world, really. Lower teams get up and try.
It's the momentum, isn't it, Rob? It's the momentum. Which is what Martin kind of alluded to Friday. How do you take the positive and the uplift from Wickham 4-1 victory take that into the cup, then roll that on into the next week. And we just don't seem to be able to do it. As you said,
No.
consistency. We just can't do it. That's the thing. I think it'll be difficult for us to break into the top 6. If we was in the top 6 already, you can afford to be a little bit inconsistent, as you were saying earlier, Martin. But if we're not there yet, I think
we're playing catch up.
And if you're going to be inconsistent, catch up's not a good game to be playing.
No. Thing is, though, and also, Robert, Cruncher says there we're not going to win every single game, which is fine. But I want to look like we're going to win every single game. So yesterday, if we'd drawn 1-1, but like Newport, I suppose, had an absolute onslaught of their goal, just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, I'm okay with that. That's football.
Yeah.
But yesterday we played okay in patches. We didn't really bombard their goal. And other times this season when we've not won, we haven't looked like winning. This is a squad that's been put together to do special things. Selena's not coming playing for Smarties. Bond's not playing for Smarties. These aren't players that are playing for buttons. So I want to look like it at the very least, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And do you feel we've done that enough? Particularly yesterday, I know that you saw the highlights, but based on the highlights, it's probably perfect. Did you look at that highlight package and think, wow, Town really were unlucky?
No.
This is why that game probably didn't. We did say, didn't we, earlier in the week, that this game was bad timing for us after Wickham, because you would have preferred to have had a league game and you're riding that wave. And then mentality changes of a cup game. That's why I would have preferred to be in Charlton's shoes yesterday. They beat Havant and Waterlooville 4-0. We could have played badly yesterday and still beaten Havant.
What were the stats from yesterday? Hang on, I'll just get them.
Do you think actually, and it's the way teams play particularly, and perhaps this year, Crunch or Matt, we're going to be better away from home, because I was talking to one of the owners midweek. When teams press us, we look good. When they come to Portman Road, they sit in, they ask us to be the team that takes up the charge. So at home, we'll be poor, but away we should be good. Do you think that's going to be the case this year?
Well, I don't know about that, really. Maybe. But then you look at the last 2 away results. We've lost 1 and won 1. Inconsistency again, isn't it? So I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
But we should have beaten Plymouth. Again, that's the ideal game for me, Rich, because we should have beaten Plymouth. We didn't. That's football. You can say why. Perhaps Coulson at right wing didn't help, but we had the chances. You don't mind losing games like that because you had the chances to win it, and you can say, well, different day. We win that game comfortably.
Yeah, that game yesterday, I think, how many I said on the post-match show, I think the goalkeeper, one save he had second half from a deflected free kick, which wasn't a hard save. He put it behind for a corner. He could have got a deck chair out second half, couldn't he, really? He didn't have a lot of pressure on him.
Me and Rich were sitting again. When did we last test this keeper? While we were watching the game, yeah, absolutely.
But I do agree, Martin. We might play better away from home. These teams have to come onto us, and we've got pace to burn, haven't we? You got Burns, you got Selena, you got Edwards, who I thought another disappointing game for him yesterday. I was really hoping that yesterday he was going to show us something and get a goal or get an assist. There's a lot of promise there, and it all goes flat, doesn't it? And Peter's out at the end, and
I think that's a little bit harsh. I thought he was doing all right. He had some lovely turns. Got pace to burn, hasn't he? What are you expecting from him then? Just because he can only put the
product. I want an end product out of him.
But he's reliant on the strikers, then, isn't he? Did he put that cross in for Bond with the header? The Bond missed, maybe. I don't know.
I think that might have been him.
He's got to be reliant on people to help him. I actually thought again when he went. Well, I can't remember what the game was. He went off, didn't he? In one game, we were like, we actually got worse. Was it the Fleetwood game when he went off? Possibly. He was only reliant on Selena's
I think so.
last second goal to get us out of it. I thought he was doing all right, but that's another issue for me. Edwards always seems to be the go-to sub, and you can see his shoulders drop when he goes off. He probably knew it was going to be him again. Yeah,
he has got to do better though. For me, he has got to.
That's the side of the pitch at the minute. Right-hand side for me. Burns has got it nailed on. You got either JD or KVY at right back.
KVY.
Left-hand side, it's a bit hit and miss. I reckon in January, I wouldn't be surprised if we tried to sign a left back permanent. Because
Coulson, do you think? That'd be Coulson?
I don't know. I suppose now with Coulson, you've got a new manager at Middlesbrough, so he might want him back to take a look at him and see what he's got to offer.
Okay.
I'd like Coulson, but his injury record does concern me.
It's not great, is it? And to be fair to Edwards yesterday, he keeps playing with different people in that position, doesn't he? He's gone from a Penny to a Coulson to Burgess. No one was expecting that again, really. But
he looked better than Penny yesterday. I thought Penny was rather poor.
It gives you a bit more physicality, doesn't he? But
Absolutely.
yeah, I don't think Penny's great going forward. He just gives the ball away cheaply for me. That's the issue I've got. He's giving 100%. Fair play to him, but
Yeah.
I just feel like we need someone better. We need someone
Absolutely.
better there.
All right, Rob, nice to see you. Look after yourself
Thanks, Rob.
in Australia. Stay safe.
Rob.
Thanks for popping on.
And
Oh,
tonight. So
yes.
Rick in the F1.
Absolutely. Mexico City. Appreciate you, Rob. Yes, that's tonight. Yeah, Bears don't play tonight, so I'll probably be watching that. We've got Rob Smith. FA Cup always throws up funny results. That's why it's the best cup competition in the world. Stephen Perry, we are League One, and we're not Madrid or Man City. The reason the players are here is because they are inconsistent. Emerson Fairweather, better to have an off day in the cup and not drop crucial league points, but the performance was a concern. We can turn them just not have the right
One
desire.
doesn't determine the other, does it?
No.
Just because
Save this.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Doesn't
It's
determine
sad to see the cup has lost some of the glam it used to have. Barry Mann, I want to see Selena take more chances rather than trying to walk the ball in.
He's sometimes a bit too clever. He did a couple of little flicks yesterday, and Cruncher was like, "Oh, that's not the time for that."
Cruncher not liking flicks, don't believe it. Lee Bayless, I shouted, especially in his boots. I shouted to Edwards yesterday to start running into
55
gaps.
minutes to bring them up.
And
Let me
not
tell
just
you, someone recognised Rich at the ground when yesterday. Richard said, "How's
I
them
was
pink
standing
boots?"
there waiting for Ollie to come out of the toilet, and this old boy come up to me with his wife, and he says, "Oh, I like your pink boots." I'm like, "They're not pink." And then his wife was telling me about he loves the show,
Love that.
but they're definitely not pink.
Love
So
that.
red.
How are we segueing into getting that song played? Because we're going to show your video in a second, but how are we segueing?
Well, I'm just
The medium
So
Mogul
if
song.
I-
Is that how we're segueing into it?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Right, there we go. We will return to Ipswich Town chatting later on in the show with Colin, because Colin the Goat is waiting.
Rich came back from the toilet yesterday at half time and they were playing Georgie's song, which is fantastic.
Shall I play
said to him, your first alias was the Cruncher, your second alias was Corporate Crunch. Now he's got a third alias, everybody, Cruncher Cow. He's now taken on this music role. He's like a music agent and getting music.
I've not got
played.
the trousers though, Matt. Don't wear the trousers up to me.
Here's the video. Look out for someone dancing along to this.
Yeah, singing away.
One call down.
Who is that?
There you go.
Right. So I text George, Matt. I text George, and he said, "Love the guy singing. Must buy him a pint when I get back to Portman Road." And I text back saying, "That was mine." You know what he come back with? Just looked at the video, going, "Of course it is." He looks much younger and happier in real life than he does on the screen.
Hashtag miserable Martin.
Get
Well, this leads me nicely into what the Media Mogul story is today, because it's been announced that Wolverhampton Wanderers are going to start their own record label. And it says this is in World Soccer Magazine. Wolves have completed a Premier League first by launching their own record label, Wolves Records, the result of a partnership between the club and Warner Music UK. They will aim to support talent in the Midlands area, such as SX, a singer, songwriter, producer, and fan of the team. Label boss Ricky Hill, I'm presuming that's not Ricky Hill who used to play for Luton, legend. This is not just about supporting local artists, but a genuine and authentic move by a football club with a vast audience to penetrate the music industry. In 2020, League One side Marseille, there they are again, also launched their own label for hip hop, rap, and R&B. There you go. Could we get a Talking Town Records one day? Who knows? We're doing everything else, aren't we?
Who knows? But there we go. A record label. I mean, that's. I'm surprised. Well, so the label's initial focus will be on nurturing and developing talented artists of all styles and genres local to the Midlands. Yeah. So, Callie, dust off that microphone again, mate.
But big shout out to the Cruncher. Big shout out to the Cruncher for contacting the club and getting it played.
I said to you at half time, Matt, when I come back, if you never ask the question, you're never going to know.
Mantra.
So they played it before the game because Matt sent it to us when we were at Sir Alf. Played it again at half time.
Brilliant.
I want to hear that played. I want to hear that played when we've got 3 points and we're all on a high. And I think people would sing along to it.
Yeah,
I do.
It's a great chorus.
I do have to apologise to the gentleman that was in front of me when I was singing along to Sweet Caroline. And he obviously watched the show, so good afternoon. And he said, I thought you liked this song. I was like, yeah, that is why I don't like it, because it's human. It's not. It's impossible for a human being to listen to that song and not join in at the chorus. It's so annoying. You just find yourself naturally doing it.
Yeah.
But George's song is a really good song. It's grown on me a hell of a lot in the sense of it. You know, when you hear it in the stadium, it adds a different dynamic.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And
it's very low key. It's very low
I've heard
key.
some people
in a Johnny Cash, haven't you?
Yeah, and I've heard some people say it's not quite a football terrace chant or song. I disagree vehemently with that, having heard it at the stadium.
Look at Blue Moon at Man City. No one would have thought that was a terrace chant. They made it their own. It's the culture, innit? You make it your own.
You play that at the start of every game, end of every game. I think it will catch on. I think it will embed itself, and as we're saying, singing the blues.
Yeah, exactly. We were saying that as we walked up yesterday, didn't we? When it was playing, if you submitted singing the blues right now, everyone would go crap.
Yeah,
rubbish. Yeah, we want something.
And I really like it because I've sort of grown up through the era where it was really played a lot.
Not for me, as Rich would say.
But that's because of the different eras. When I was a fan or a younger fan, as a kid, that was the time when it really was played before every single game. So it became embedded in me as a traditional town song that you hear it, you think of the Joe Royal, the entertainers, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
At our football club, we never sort of buy into anything long enough.
If you wanted another kind of upbeat style of song before kickoff, I would always go to Boys Are Back in Town, Thin Lizzy. Brilliant.
Do we know who chooses the songs? Like, do we know who's responsible for the playlist?
Just the comms people, the people who manage the PA bit, probably.
Because it's almost like whatever mood they're in. Like we had the whole My Way thing for a season.
Yeah. That kind of went away.
And that's got dumped. And then there'll be another thing that'll come back in about 2 or 3 years' time because somebody will go, "Oh, do you remember My Way? Oh yeah, wasn't that a famous song that was associated with the club? Oh yeah, let's play that." It's like, come on, get some consistency. It's like our team performance. Get some consistency.
Yeah, I agree.
Get some bloody consistency.
Russell Osman, when I go through like some of my stuff for the Talking Town stuff, I do the Time Machine stuff on Twitter. Russell Osman used to take some of his own record collection up and play it before the match, before he had to go and get changed.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we need to ask, some of our inconsistent players what song gets them pumped up. Start playing that as they come out. Right. Let's have a crunching tackle, shall we? Not had that in a while.
No,
we've not done this for a while, have we?
No,
it's been too busy.
Time was moaning on the WhatsApp group. I think it was Friday night, 11 p.m. Fireworks were still going off in Stowmarket.
They were.
Now they don't just have them on one night, do they? This just a mishmash. Not good for animals. I've got 2 dogs. Don't like the fireworks. Fireworks at football are never really any good either, are they?
No.
Pyrotechnics. When I went to Wickham's on, they didn't have fireworks. They had some flares going off. But this week there was a couple of games. You've probably seen it on social media. People who are watching. Hashtag United Reserves were playing Concord Rangers. And then this happened.
Hashtag United. Here we go. This is the one you want.
Watch this play. Look, he's in the middle of the pitch. There you go.
Oh, my word. Yo. Okay, that much.
Watch it again. Look.
Oh, my. Hey, blood. Oh, my word.
There we go.
So that was Matas Skranja. The game was, they abandoned the game because the house, they refused to stop the fireworks. So they had to abandon the game. They were winning 2-0 at the time. So that was abandoned after 59 minutes.
So
and then in Ireland, and then we go to Ireland, Waterford versus Shamrock Rovers on Friday night. There was an 8-minute delay. So these were fireworks, Matt, that the Shamrock Rovers fans were firing on the pitch from the away stand.
Loading tackle.
Oh my God.
This. There you go.
Fireworks being exploded into the. And I think the referee is calling hold to it.
So the guy there holding his face, that is Anthony Wordsworth, who used to play for Town.
Oh yeah, Anthony Wordsworth. People are stupid, aren't they?
If you watch that again, they come out the away stand. Now, when you go into these away grounds, they always pat you down, don't they?
Yeah.
Check what's in your bag, sir.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you've got food. Oh, you can go in. Oh no, I've got some fireworks. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to let them off at the game and fire them on the pitch.
But it begs
they
the
don't even
question where they
play,
hide
they-
these fireworks. You know, if you are patted, where are you hiding the firework and the pyros? That's what I've.
But don't you find it too easy nowadays? Anyone can go down the shop and buy some fireworks, can't they?
I don't agree with it. I think it should just be allowed at the official displays like you went to, Martin, at the museum or whatever. People should not be doing it in their gardens. When we have it in Chelsea last night, it was heavy, all the sound and everything, always punctuated by a sound of an ambulance. So you know something's happened.
Well, it is Chelmsford.
Humans cannot be trusted with fireworks in their gardens, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like when you say there that the house refused to stop their fireworks, you've just seriously hurt somebody.
Yeah. That's Bowers and Pitsy for you. That's where I hashtag play. It's a bit lively around there.
Surely just phone the police. Like that's it's got to be some sort of assault on that person with a weapon.
Well, the police were notified.
They sent an email. My plan just been hit by.
Mark Rattle does say we do say it sometimes. People need a rocket up their arse.
Not fucking literally.
Literally, yeah.
Or like Balotelli, like Callie says.
Yeah.
Fireworks in his bathroom.
Yeah. Well, there's an American football player called I think it's Jason Pierre-Paul. He had a firework incident where he seriously damaged his hand. I just don't think we should be trusting the general public.
No.
You know, with deadly fireworks.
Totally agree.
You can't trust the general public with social media, let alone something that's going to go and blow up somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Callie, do it like Balotelli fireworks in the bathroom. Lee Bayer said a police dog at the away turn, so yesterday and still let a pyro off from away fans. Callie, I don't mind fireworks at home. We did some yesterday and was all good and safe. But for everyone that's good and safe, there'll be one that isn't. You know, and so it's more the every single night of the week. Like from this point on now, every night of the week until the middle of January, there'll be fireworks. And like 11 p.m. I'm in bed, and my dog goes mad. My 19-month-old son starts crying.
Yeah.
11 p.m.
Yeah. People are stupid and selfish.
And the cost of them as well, Matt. They're not cheap to buy.
No. Weird, isn't it? I don't get it.
No, I don't get it. I'm not big. I mean, I do like fireworks, but I actually look at. You know, I'm not a firework fan in the middle of winter.
Was it a good display at the museum last night?
It was all right. I've seen better. I mean, I don't mind fireworks when I'm stood in Monaco watching them when it's lovely and sun, like lovely and warm, and it's a really nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
But stood in a muddy field anywhere in the world.
Do you remember we opened the Sir Alf Ramsey stand? Who did we play? Was it Moscow at home? It was on the BBC, and they had a fireworks display. What's his
Torpedo
name?
Moscow.
The guy. Manager Hansen was there.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's
right.
Fireworks
going off there, didn't they?
It was.
The teams came out.
Yeah.
Forget fireworks for a moment. When do we start getting a light display like Wickham have got? That was really good. I enjoyed that.
That was shit.
That was brilliant.
that was
brilliant.
Absolute tin pot.
What made me laugh yesterday was that we were going, oh, look, it's a really sparse crowd. It was actually bigger than what the crowd was at Wickham. I should say, just that the stadium was too big.
The thing is, though, you say that, but there's Wickham Stadium. It's just as good as ours. Nice big screen. They can do things with their lights. We can't do naff all with our lights. Apart from turn them on. Wolves have a light display. Wickham have a light display. Where's our light display?
Wolves is a good light display. Chelsea do it, I think, for the some of the European games, didn't they? Before.
Yeah.
I like all that sort of stuff. You know.
Should we go into a quick goats before we say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah, let's go into a goat and then we'll bring the goat on. Let's do it that way.
So,
what are our goats?
I'll go first, shall I?
Go for it.
I'm going to paraphrase good old Delia up the road. Like, where were you? Where are you? Where was everyone yesterday? 8,845 at Oldham. Fleetwood, we had 20,000 there. What? And 99. Shrewsbury, 19,526. Why did everyone feel like the need to not go to the game? I don't get it. Was it just the hardcore there yesterday? Us lot at the match? I don't get it. We're talking about the players and they were in a bad mentality, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I get that. But nothing looks more crap at Pullman Road than the top tiers not being open, just for away fans. I don't know, it's like a reserve game. It was an FA Cup game, everybody.
10,000 people didn't turn up. Really, 18,000 last home game.
Yeah.
So
And it was a
10,000
tenner.
people were
It was a
missing.
tenner a ticket. Good old Lee's driven all the way down from Oldham. He made the effort.
£11.50 for a ticket.
Oh yeah, you got your booking fee, haven't you? Is
Please
that one of
do
your
include-
goats?
It might. Well, I've got a lot this week. I don't know. I'll choose when I come to my goat. But you're right. Where were the 10,000? No, it wasn't being streamed, so it wasn't like you could sit at home and watch it
No.
via some means. 10,000 people, £11.50 a ticket.
It's a first team competition. Now we're not going to go. Well, I think Richard's going. But me and Mike and I are going Tuesday. The EFL Trophy isn't deemed a first team competition. Hence the reason why Morsey was allowed to play it when he was suspended. So it's a weird competition, and I'll probably be a bit more invested in it if we get closer to Wembley. But there's no excuses yesterday. What were those 10,000 people doing? I'd love to know.
Kelly was busy.
I suppose. Buying fireworks, probably.
That's a symptom of the football club treating the FA Cup like dirt over the last
I get it.
15, 20, 10 years. Because, I was speaking to my nan who didn't go yesterday, and she said, I wish I'd gone now looking at that team. Nobody expected that lineup because we've not been conditioned to think of the FA Cup as important. So when you treat it as such, fans over a period of time respond.
We said it Friday, didn't we? Everyone just seems to think you can only contest in one competition, and I'll just bin that one off.
Whereas
it's not my mind not to go to the FA Cup game.
and they're coming. Let's be honest, they're all saving themselves for the Luke Chambers loving on Tuesday night. Let's be
so what
fair.
kind of crowd will we get for that? It'd be interesting to see.
4.5.
Higher. Luke Chambers and Cole Skeeter returning crunch.
No,
This is
I
like the
don't think-
testimonial he never got.
I don't think you get much more than that. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
It's disappointing. It is when you consider that obviously all revenue helps the club in the protocols and the FFP, which is not called FFP, it's SCMP. It is a bit disappointing that 10,000, not just 5, not 7, 10.
10.
A lot of which I would say was a lot of the a regular North Stand lot, because that was quite a pin drop at times. The Oldham fans, 400 of them were out singing us lot. That was a bit embarrassing. That was a bit, that might be a goat in itself. But Crunch,
when we singing, we forgot you were here or something. I mean, shut up.
they were having some really good old school chants. You just a shit Norwich City. Like they were having it's only 1-1. How shit must you be? Old school.
They bought a hell of a flag, didn't they, Rich? We were trying to work out.
I was going to say that. The flag was massive, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that was a great flag.
Went across the whole block.
Who brought that down with them? I didn't see anyone carrying it out.
How you even fold that up? I've got no idea. Where does it even live?
You did have folding bed sheets, Matt. You need 2 people,
Terrible.
one at one end, one at the other. Bring the ends together.
Awful.
Amazing that you'd know about bed sheets, isn't it, Rich?
Well, there you go.
Absolutely
You learn everything on here, don't
unbelievable. Callie says it's the Chamber Skew testimonial, 30,000 sellout. Well, I'm not going to get me there, Lee. We're going to, most of the clubs were charging £20 adults and £10 for kids. For us charging that's £10 and £3. And Craig says hardly any season ticket holders were sitting in their usual seats around us in the West Stand. Crunch, you got to go.
Yeah, talking about bed sheets, my goat a few weeks ago on here was the Man United manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And now he's still unbelievably, all these managers are getting
the wheel.
Back. Ole is still at the wheel. But I've got some stats yesterday. So not only are like Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, good players, but they work harder, don't they? So I was watching the match of the day last night, and it was Alan Shearer. So they've got some on the BBC website, some sprints. How many sprints they done in the game? So Phil Foden 20 in 90 minutes, De Bruyne 17, Jesus 16, David Silva 15. That's in the 90 minutes. Man United's highest one was Ronaldo with 14 in 90 minutes, and then you've got Bruno Fernandes. Now Bruno is a good player. Do you ever see him, Matt, turn up when it's a big game?
Good point.
Goes missing, doesn't he?
Got a hat trick on the opening day of the season.
How many sprints in 90 minutes did Bruno put in?
3.
4. Now, if you see the goals, you see the first goal. They highlighted it. The ball goes out to Cancelo, the fullback.
Yeah.
Now, Bruno's could close him down. He's just jogging over there, isn't he? Doesn't do anything to stop the cross. Now, they showed that there was one there in about the last 2 minutes. Man City were on the attack. They lost the ball. You should see Silva, Kevin De Bruyne are working their absolute nuts off to get that ball back. I think Pep's got like a 5-second thing. If they lose the ball, try and win it back within 5 seconds. Now, they're great players, Man City, but they're working harder. And I see a stat the other week about Man United. They all wear these vests, don't they? You know, they can see how far they've run. They're in the bottom 2 or 3 of running stats. Now, for a club of Man United size, Matt, that is a disgrace.
It's mentality again, isn't it? What we said at the top of the show, you come down to a poor mentality. Yeah,
well, who's that come from? Where did that come from? The manager. How can he still be in a job? How are Man United accepting this? I've got a Man United fan at work, and he was like, if we lose 2-0, he says to City, we're doing well. And I said to him, where's your standards? You're a Man United fan, and you're accepting if you lose 2-0 to your rivals, it's not a bad result. That was 2-0 yesterday, but it was an absolute hiding.
Yeah, Massacre, yeah,
it was.
Difficult
But you only get those standards by setting a level, and it goes back to what we were saying earlier, setting a level, and that's the level you don't move from. And when this level is not met, you change. And you say, well, I'll bring somebody else in who will reach my level, who will reach the level I expect. Like, you know, I do feel for Ronaldo because he does get slagged off something rotten when United don't win. But when they win, it's all because of Ronaldo. It's like...
yeah.
You know, you can't have it both ways. But Pep has great players, but he expects them to do the minimum, you know, the free stuff, which is work hard, close down, the stuff that any club without money or otherwise can do. Because he sets a level, and he makes big decisions on weeks when it hasn't worked. That's what I think. But
yeah, absolutely. I've got another little mini goat quickly. Why can't we have considering the EFL trophy is not a first team competition, why can't we have the stream within our season ticket package? I don't get it. You've got to pay a tenner now. Got to pay a tenner for Tuesday. It's not even a first team fixture officially.
Madness, isn't it? We've got Rob Smith overpaid. Can't watch Premier League anymore, and they demand more money all the time. Won't watch any Premier League. Labours. I want United to give Ollie a 20-year contract. I love it. Too many big name stars. All think they're the best. Great individuals, but not.
Well, Stephen Parry says there about Ronaldo. He doesn't suit the pressing style, so they don't press. They never pressed before they signed him anyway. You know.
No.
But he's 36, and he's got the top sprints. 14 yesterday. Bruno Fernandes. What is that about? 4? Not for me.
Oh.
Not for me.
Yeah.
How does Fred still get a game? That's what I want to know.
That's what Kane was saying, wasn't it?
Oh, did you see his rant?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. In truth, that's the only reason why I know who Fred is, because I don't really watch Premier League football, so I shouldn't really be asking that question.
Apparently, Roy Keane's doing I'm a Celebrity this year.
Is he?
Yeah, they reckon he's going to do it in the
Another
Welsh
reason.
Castle. They're having the Welsh Castle.
Yeah. Could be alongside Richard Madeley.
Another reason not to watch. Good grief. If he was chocolate, he'd lick himself to death.
Where is the goat? Where is the official goat?
Well, this is it. Let's bring in the official goat. Here he is, Colin the goat. How you feeling, Colin?
Colin.
Yeah, not too bad, but obviously I'm not quite there yet, as you can probably hear. I nearly lost my voice this morning, and Felicia said, "Bloody good job." I've been through the bloody mill, really. It's as ill as I've felt in years, and takes a lot for me not to go to my work. It takes a hell of a lot more for me not to go to my football. But yeah, and I've missed you lot. I really have. I've really, really missed everybody, and I missed even more yesterday when Lee was out. You know, I'd love to have been seeing him, because I have lots to do with him on the chat. And
you didn't know who he was, Colin, if you had seen him. You didn't know who he was, them two, didn't you?
I'm still having that.
Getting there slowly but sure. Hopefully by Saturday, you know, I certainly shan't go Tuesday. Although I want to go Tuesday, but that's definitely out. I need to get myself properly.
See the Luke Chambers testimonial.
No, I see like Colin Harper's testimonial and Colin Villjohn's and Kevin Beatty's and Bobby Robson's and Alan Hunter's, you know, and trust me, a lot of the testimonials I saw most of them through that period. I was thinking about it just a little while ago, actually, when you was talking about it a little while ago, having a little joke. take, for example, the Alan Hunter testimony. We played Celtic. Celtic had the whole North Stand.
Yeah.
The whole North Stand. And it was terrace then. The whole North Stand. You know, so I've been to testimonials at Port Road. Well, like Bobby Robson, I think it was about 28,000 there for Bobby's against England. Yeah, so to go to a so-called, which obviously it isn't, but a so-called testimonial in front of about, I don't know, 3,000-4,000 people, nah, not for me.
No.
They don't even deserve a testimonial anyway.
Very
Anybody who takes my side down or our side down certainly
yeah,
don't deserve a
right.
testimonial.
Did you listen yesterday, Colin? Did you listen to the
Yes,
game?
mate. Yeah, I did. Absolutely. Yeah. What's his name was on yesterday? God, can't even think of him.
Luke High.
Luke High. I mean, yeah, to be fair to him, like I said to Rich, you know, he was all right. Called a spade. And, yeah, but like I said to Rich earlier, I mean, very, very, very dull. I mean, even listen to that dull lot, you know. It was even duller yesterday.
It's underwhelming, Colin. You're right, yeah.
I must admit, having scored in 8 minutes, I did think that I did think my 4 or 5-0 was going to be up. To be honest with you, scoring that early, but and no, not to be. But the point I think I tried to make in the chat was what we must remember is we still ain't out of the tournament. We're in the draw tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like Rich quite rightly says, they've drew the short straw because they're playing us in white now. So that normally wins. That normally means an away win in my book. So I haven't ruled that out as yet. Let's just hope. Most importantly, we get through, and B, tomorrow, if we do get through, which I think we will do, we get a half decent home draw again. And let's get in that blooming third round.
That'd be good, yeah.
For God's sake, do you know what? Until 3 years ago, this is the first time in my footballing life, having been there since I was 7, I've ever seen Ipswich in the first round of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And I think that's saying something, bearing in mind I'm 65 in February. You know, it just about Rich, Matt and the Gov, just sums everything up, really.
Yeah.
But and I'll tell you what, you was talking earlier about the pyrotechnics and fireworks and everything. Those people who do that stuff have got the brains of a rocking horse. They really have. And also another thing I'd like to suggest on that is not because I went to Plymouth, but you can ask Callie or my wife. I'll tell you what, obviously my wife got frisked by a lady steward. Do you know what? I have never, ever, for a long, long time, going back to the 70s, I've never seen so much frisking going on as there was at Plymouth. I'll tell you what, it's a good job it weren't. I said to the steward, it's a good job you only get 16,000 as opposed to like our lot, you know, 21, 22,000, another 5,000, 6,000 to go in. Because I'll tell you what, there would have been at least 1,000 people not see the start of the game. They were so thorough. I mean, that's not a bad thing, I admit, but they were so thorough. It was it was bordering on ridiculous. You know, there's one bloke who was frisking our coup. He was, oh God Almighty, he was doing everything but a bar go down your underpants. You know, he was honestly, Rich. He was doing. I forgot to tell you all about this. He was literally going everywhere apart from down your underpants. It was, yeah. So
it's ironic because that's probably where they hide them. So, you know, they must hide them somewhere.
You wouldn't have it because you got size 15 feet.
Exactly. Really got size 7. The rest is just
Go. This will make you laugh. It made you laugh. Venetia was just behind me, and I said to the bloke, I said, "You're not doing my missus." He said, "Oh no." He said, I'm not doing females. I said, your mate over there is. The bloke over there was frisking women. Do you believe that?
No, well, no. But more
no.
Just as important, not more important, just as important, Inconsistencies is our consistency. Colin, you've seen the greatest of Ipswich Town. You've seen the worst of Ipswich Town. You've seen the best of the managers, the worst of the managers. How does Paul Cook find consistency? Tell us.
Yeah.
How does he find consistency? Well, first and foremost, to find consistency, and this will sound a bit hypocritical because he obviously did it yesterday. I personally think how you find consistency is by consistently picking your best side when fit all of the time and the same system. Not so much maybe the same system all the time, but you pick your best side. I always believe in that. You pick your best side. You and a lot of other people have suggested that he isn't or he borders on stubborn in as much as he won't change. But again, like Rich has always said, and Matt I think said as well, he's gone this way with other sides and had consistency in results with other sides with this formation. I must admit, like yesterday, I mean, I'm not going to try and jump ship from what I've suggested in the past. But I think yesterday was the perfect time, really, for him to, just switch it a little bit. Maybe with half an hour to go, just switch it a little bit. Go 4-4-2, and just to do something different against Oldham. Go 4-4-2. Put Piggott on. Play him up front with Bond and sit and take whoever off, and see how it goes. But I think, because we mustn't get away from the fact that, the other night, not just myself, but loads of people were absolutely going over the top, and quite rightly so, about the performance on Tuesday night and also the performance at Portsmouth as well. Now, when you can produce two performances like that at grounds like that, especially Fratton Park, because Wickham is a bit of a Mickey Mouse kind of stadium, as we know. I mean, God almighty, there was less there yesterday than there was for us in the FA Cup. And by the way, when people suggest that our attendance was absolutely awful yesterday, I actually done a little bit of recce this morning, and we had the top FA Cup attendance. I don't know what it was at Sheffield Wednesday today, but we had I watched on the TV and there didn't seem hardly anybody there. But apart from Sunderland, who said they didn't want to reveal their attendance for whatever reason, but what highlights I saw on the television, there wasn't many people there. Apart from Sunderland, we had the highest attendance in the whole FA Cup yesterday. So, but 8,800 is not brilliant. But like I say, there was a lot of other clubs having a lot worse. But going back to Cookie, I will stick by him. Like, I think the club will definitely stick by him till the end of this season. And I also think come Saturday, and I hope to goodness I'm going to be there Saturday. If the game was tomorrow, I certainly wouldn't be, or Tuesday, but hopefully by Saturday I should be there. But like I said in the chat today, I think you'll find on Saturday probably the same, apart from Selena, probably the same personnel, but I think a very, very different performance. I think a very different result. And I think you'll find all 10 outfield players will be on it, and I think you'll find. And I also believe, I said this to you before, Gov, I liken it a lot, really, to the great sides we had. When we played the likes of Norwich or Birmingham or Crystal Palace, that kind of side, because Norwich were rubbish, let's face it. Anybody with people like Duncan Forbes in the side were rubbish. But anyway, when we played the likes of those in the first division, we didn't scrape through, but they were always sometimes more difficult kind of games to get up for, I suppose. But when we played Liverpool, Leeds, Man United, Man City, Everton at a time, they were a cakewalk. you know, because we were on it, we were up for it, and and people like PM, God rest his soul, Beattie, for God's sake, God rest his soul, they were just on it. Now, if any of the boys are watching this today, don't worry about Tuesday night. Get through, yes. I don't want no injuries, by the way. Get through. Do what you got to do. I think I'll be Al Mazzuni and the lads, and good luck to them. I hope they do marvellously well, and I hope they all put in great performances. I hope they get through. But next Saturday we'll see a completely different side. We'll see on Tuesday, that for definite. And any of the players watching this today, just take a heed of what I say. These were great players, people like Paul Mariner, Kevin Beattie, Terry Butcher, Russell Osman, Eric Gates, Alan Brazil, Arnold Mirren, people like, but they were always on it. And that's what you got to do. People like Sam Morsey, I think he's a very, very good footballer. I think he's very good at what he does. Apparently he was awful yesterday. That's fine. I'll take that as read because I wasn't there. But when Sam Morsey and Evans and people like that who are supposed to be in them kind of roles go on that pitch on Saturday, go on it to mean it. Really, really mean it. Go on it to win that game. From minute one, go on it to win that game for all of those supporters who have been absolutely fantastic for this football club. Paul is absolutely right. And I'll tell you, one of his best presses this year was the other day when he said about, and I'll tell you what, he meant it. I know he did. He's a fans manager, and he meant it. He's been there and done it. He's watched Liverpool in '74 when they won the FA Cup against Newcastle. He knows what it means to travel down the country. But what he said the other day about the fans who like Rich and whatever, and myself, like people who go to Pompey on a bloody Tuesday, not excuse my French, sorry Ben. People who people who go to Pompey on a Tuesday night. People like myself who go to Cheltenham on a Tuesday night. People like that man there with that beard, Rich, who will be at Oldham on a bloody Tuesday night. Play for them. Play for them and them only. Don't just play for yourselves. Play for the people who pay your wages. And do you know what? That's what Bobby Robson's father always told him. He told Bobby when he became a professional, when he signed for West Brom, when Bobby signed for West Brom, his father, who was a miner in County Durham, he turned round to Bobby when he first signed for West Bromwich Albion, and he said, do you know what, Bobby? He said, fantastic you signed for West Brom. He said, please promise me something. And Bobby said, what's that, Dad? What's that, Dad? He said, please, when you get into the first team, he was a youth player at West Brom at the time. When you get in the first team, which you will, which you did, play for West Brom, play for Fulham, play for England. He said, never, ever turn away an autograph. And do you know what? From that day onwards, I read in his autobiography, Bobby never, ever refused an autograph, whether it was a child of 5 or whether it was a grandfather of 85. He never turned away a supporter. That is what you call a person who believes and gets the fans. And I'll tell you what, people can say what they like about Paul, but I'll tell you what, I've met him on 3 or 4 occasions now, and nobody will ever tell me he doesn't get us. Because my God, he does. Whether he finishes up taking us where we want to be, only the Lord up there knows that. Okay? But I'm sure, and I hope and pray that he does, because I just think if he could get us up in the Championship and then we get a bit more revenue and a little bit more comes in from maybe from the owners, and I just think he could be the man for us for the next few years. If he isn't, he isn't. But I'd just like lastly just to say one last thing. Bye bye, Mr. Parker. oh, by the way, Mr. Norwich fans, what was that you were saying? Like, oh yeah, oh no, we want to sack him, right? However long ago, 15 months ago, we want to sack him. Oh no, we've got up now. Oh, we want to keep him. Oh, now we want him sacked again. Oh, be careful what you wish for.
There you go. Perfect way to.
Colin, like I
Yes,
told you this
yes, my
morning,
old friend.
like I told you this morning, you were on about Norwich celebrating. Just remember where they are, and we drew 1-1 with Oldham yesterday. That's
There
all
you
I'll say.
go. There you
Yeah, and Rich, let me have a last word. And what did I reply to you? True.
What?
There you go.
Yeah. Yes, Rich.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We are back tomorrow, 8:30, Talking Town's extra
Did you come
time.
up for air there, Colin? Did you come up? I thought you got a
I
bad
don't
cough.
think he did. I know. No wonder he got a bad
Jesus.
cough. He didn't come up for air once. We'll be looking ahead to the Luke Chambers testimonial. Myself, I can't think of what who the contributors are, but live tomorrow from 8:30. But we are done. That is the GOAT, Colin Plum, who will now go up and breathe for the first time in the last hour. He is the Media Mogul. He is the Cruncher. I am the Gov. You
Thanks
are the
for watching.
wonderful Talking Town audience. Thank you so much for watching and for your kind comments yesterday and today. But yeah, back tomorrow 8:30. Share to all your friends. Until then, with love, with care. Sid.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now. Let's move closer to a new history, find out what we can be.